A Bitcoin price breakout is now imminent. And that's because we've been banging our heads against this $52,000 range for quite some time. However, Bitcoin has some hurdles to overcome. That's right, we are still in the middle of this chop. And this chop is usually where emotions and prices get completely reset during the bucking bronco that is a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency bull run. Welcome back, everybody. This is Elio Trades. I'm currently getting a new webcam, and so that's why I haven't been making videos for the last few days, but until it comes, we'll go ahead and do some webcam-free videos. Let me know how you guys like this format. Of course, today we're covering the fact that we are looking at breaking through this very critical range in Bitcoin's bull run, allowing us to get back into this more bullish territory that would allow us to establish a new run at all-time highs. Now, this kind of a chop and breakdown is very common in a Bitcoin bull run. In fact, it reminds me almost exactly of what happened in July, or June rather, of the 2017 bull run, where we went to about 3x the prior all-time high. The original all-time high of that bull run was 1160. Ours was 20,000. So we hit almost 60,000, about 3x. In that year, 2017, we hit 3,000, which was a little under 3x from that prior all-time high. And then we've had this chop. Now, it's worth noting that it was pretty much 2 months from June until August that we really overcame that chop back in 2017. And so seeing this chop right now, I'll try not to say chop again. And so seeing this particular consolidation lasting now since the 22nd or so of February, well, we could see some consolidation for the next few weeks or even a month or so. And to me, this is not a bad situation because, to be honest, over the last few weeks and months, we had a pretty parabolic run up. And if you look at the slope of Bitcoin's chart, it was pretty much becoming a straight line up. And that is something that is unsustainable. And so having these consolidations, especially in a healthy way, where we can see them actually build strength, it didn't come down too far here. We bounced here off of the low 40,000s, about a not quite 30%, not even that bloody and that red of a correction. And we've seen them as low as 40% in the bull run. And so this is by all means a more tame correction. And that means that we might see more tame outcomes in general, maybe to the upside as well, but also to the downside, which in my opinion is the most important because that protects investors. So it's important to understand that 52,000 is really the battle of the bulls and the bears here. But even failing to break out through this might be a bummer. It might send us down to the mid 40,000s. But again, there is a very bullish aspect of this structure, which is that the number of tests that the resistance zone has seen. Given that this resistance zone has been tested several times, it should become weaker with each attempt. Thus, the resistance zone should generate further strength for a price breakout upward. Now, the reality is that this is coming in tandem with a dollar strengthening and a 10-year yield strengthening. And these are different factors that are used to indicate that people might have more comfort in the US dollar. Remember, everything is being traded against the US dollar. So if you want something to go parabolic, you need to have it valued comparatively against what the value of the dollar is. And so even though we got what I think is as an insanely bullish fundamental underpinning here with the printing of a ton of money and the passage of a $1.9 trillion stimulus package just a few days ago, the reality is that hasn't quite hit the market yet and that the dollar is having somewhat of a little rally up here. However, it's worth noting that both the 10-year yield, treasury yield rally and the US dollar rally are hitting huge areas of resistance. And those areas of resistance will most likely result in this trend coming back down. I mean, you can't have this particular headline and the dollar rally too hard. It doesn't make sense. And so we're going to see a little bit of the rubber hitting the road here. It's important to realize that these changes are not immediate and that the actual stimulus passed in 2020 took several months before the altcoin rally went truly parabolic, the DeFi summer as it was called, which really took off in June and July. Well, that stimulus was passed in March. And so it takes a while for the money to be printed, hit the hands of those, new investors, of those big financial players that might choose to deploy those assets into more risky, faster moving bets against the US dollar. So it's important to realize this isn't just an on-off switch and that this particular trend will eventually continue the devaluation of the dollar, which will lead to more and more upside in Bitcoin. And of course, with that new liquidity in Bitcoin, we can see more and more bullishness throughout the crypto space. Now, obviously, flipping this $52,000 level is really important, but then we have the $56,000 level after that to look for. A failed breakout may result in us dropping down to $46,000 or even $42,000. But again, I still remain extremely bullish. This chop can take a while to really work itself out. You see, this is one trader's version of what he thinks might happen, which is, a little breakout up and then a retest. We call this a bullish retest of that support level. And so we'll see how this happens. But again, I'm expecting upwards of a few weeks of this. And historically during bull runs, accumulation of good assets, especially those in trending narratives like DeFi and NFTs, those can be extremely promising during these choppy periods when everybody turns their back and everybody gets soured and everybody assumes that the bull run is over. That's when you want to be making your move. When people are fearful, and I do feel like people are very fearful because the nonstop gains party has taken a momentary rest. Now, I also wanted to take a second to shout out my buddy Mike McGlone over here at Bloomberg. Mike's been on the channel several times here. I wasn't even aware he was on Twitter, but check him out with 12.6K followers. Congrats to Mike here. And he's making the case here that digital gold is now pushing out gold, saying Bitcoin is replacing gold. Now, we all know that the actual market cap of gold is now between 10 and 11 trillion dollars. So at the highs of an 11 trillion dollar gold market cap, well, that would mean that Bitcoin here, just call it a trillion for easy math, would have to 11x to get to the value of gold. And that would mean that we're looking at a $550,000 Bitcoin, actually above that, because this isn't quite a trillion and this is above 50K. So we're looking at potentially some really significant moon math if Bitcoin is able to push out gold and take up this market cap, which to many seems like it's just an inevitability that this would happen eventually. And I believe that gold's market cap will even continue to grow in comparison to the US dollar as this process takes hold. So we're looking at potentially a 12 or 13 trillion dollar market cap maybe by the time that this happens. Remember, gold's market cap was between 7 and 8 trillion during the bear market. So gold's been moving and Bitcoin's been moving, and this particular analysis leads us to believe that there's a ton more headroom above, which is why I stay so bullish and so macro long-term bullish on the space, is because over a long enough period of time, these fundamental changes to our economy are bound to put Bitcoin and crypto holders ahead. Now, I did want to touch on this because I definitely tweeted about it a lot, but I haven't made a video since this happened, and that is that Jack actually sold his own NFT tweet. He sold his original tweet setting up my Twitter as an NFT, and it was bid on for $2.5 million. And this caused many people to absolutely lose it, including, this particular article on The Verge, people saying, please do not give billionaire Jack Dorsey money for his tweet. But I think they're really missing the fact that Jack over here was just trying to prove out that different assets like tweets can actually have cultural significance and value that are really important. And so I think that this is something that everyone needs to understand, which is, no, a piece of paper isn't worth $50,000 alone, but it is worth a lot if it has historical significance, like a sketch pad or a notepad from Albert Einstein. And no, random pairs of shoes shouldn't be worth $500,000, but maybe if they were Napoleon's or belonged to some historical figure, maybe they would be. And I think Jack and his first tweet here definitely qualifies as a piece of internet history. And so you could see this as owning a verified piece of internet history. And I definitely think that there's going to be a value for things like this. I think people just need to observe the trend a little bit unemotionally and understand that this is history in its new form and that people want a piece of it. And a lot of these new NFTs might crash, but there are going to be a lot of successful collectibles and internet historical items that do hold value. So I couldn't help but find this incredibly exciting when I saw that Jack actually auctioned his tweet. And we got here the news that Square, also owned by Jack Dorsey, just bought Tidal, which is Jay-Z's streaming music service, for $300 million. Now, this is to me easily and obviously an NFT play. I know personally that there is a ton of interest in the NFT market from music, especially because of 3Blau's insane $11.7 million NFT sale. And so this to me is a big sleeping giant NFT music project in the making. So get ready and don't be surprised when Tidal turns into a way for artists to actually sell and come to market with their music as NFTs. I'm really excited to see what happens here. And again, it shows you how early we are in the NFT infrastructure world. This is a very interesting explosion of NFT in the world. I also wanted to take a second here to go over the DeFi world. We see here that TVL is here at about $47.5 billion. I think that this is absolutely fantastic to see that it keeps growing here. Again, we're one double up away from the $100 billion TVL mark. And I do believe we make it there. And I think we even add a zero from there in the not too distant future. And so this really underpins the value proposition for things like Ethereum and beyond. I also wanted to take a second and touch on Rari Governance Token, which has had a phenomenal week. We started covering this one in its early days. days. So it's good to see it continuing to grow, and it shows that the market and the thirst for new yield farming and DeFi protocols is still very much alive. And we just got the news that PayPal is about to acquire Curve. Now, Curve Finance, obviously one of the sort of leading crypto DeFi projects here at a $500 million market cap with incredible trading volumes. And this has been one of the most successful and critical DeFi protocols. So a big shout out to Curve. And you can see how serious this is with PayPal looking to acquire DeFi protocols. The writing is seriously on the wall here that DeFi, not just crypto, not just Bitcoin, but DeFi and the protocols that have been powering this modern bull run with utility, they are going to be at the centerpiece of a new financial system, especially now seeing PayPal wanting skin in the game in the DeFi world. This is incredibly bullish for the space, and it shows you that the work going on here in crypto land is on its way to impacting the larger financial system. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Again, today's video was webcam free, but we'll have the webcam back in the near future. Go ahead, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed learning about everything bullish about today's bull run. From the Bitcoin TA showing that we're in reaccumulation phase and there is still a lot of bullishness to come. From the stimulus, the weighing in from Bloomberg, Jack's crazy NFT tweet sale, Rari governance token, PayPal buying Curve. It's been a very eventful few days here in crypto land, and I hope you guys are excited for this. Go ahead, destroy that like button, and remember, each and every comment on this video is entered to win your very own hardware wallet. As always, my name's Elio Trades. You can find me on Telegram or Twitter. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.